This one ain't even close.
Hello, students. Are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, that was my internet. I apologize for that, guys. Okay. All right, so go back and share my screen. So what I want to do is answer any questions that you guys might have for your feasibility study today. Any questions that you may have, I'm happy to answer them for you. Okay. So I noticed that you guys are at different levels. There are actually quite a few of you guys that are really advanced in terms of your completion of your feasibility study. You're up to date on your work for this course. And then I've got a good number of you guys that are really behind and have not yet worked on the feasibility study and I need to catch up on it. So I kind of had that even at midterms. I had like a bunch of A's and, you know, a decent number of, you know, C minuses, D's, and F's. And so it was really kind of a flip-flop sort of thing, and there wasn't a lot in between. So what I'm going to do, if nobody's going to ask me anything in particular, is I'm just going to take about 10 minutes to just reiterate everywhere where you'll need to find the things that you'll need in order for you to complete your feasibility study. Because we only have about a month and a week left of the entire semester. And we don't have that many meetings left. And most of the meetings that we have left in this course are independent meetings. So on Tuesdays, I'm going to come here for the rest of the semester and I'm going to be available to answer any questions that you have. But on Thursday, you're really on your own. And for the rest of the course or the rest of the class day on Tuesdays, you're going to be working independently too. So you don't want to see this as just completely free time where you just don't have to come to class for the rest of the semester. You want to actually use the time that is allocated for this course for you to finish the assignment that you have been given. So you know that you all have access on Blackboard to this feasibility plan resources folder. And in that folder, you have everything that you need in order for you to finish your feasibility study. You have obviously the actual Business Launchpad workbook that you have, and you've got this editable version here. You got a PDF version that I put here. The only reason I put that there is, let's just say you make a mistake and you delete something, or you've changed the way that the pages are formatted a little bit by mistake or something. That way you can kind of go back and look and see what it was supposed to be structured like. That's why I have that PDF there for you. It doesn't really offer you much utility other than that. But you also have this Business Launchpad PowerPoint presentation, which is editable. That's the PowerPoint that you're going to need to finish that really takes the main components of your workbook, which is 46 pages and really detailed, and puts them inside of this much shorter PowerPoint presentation. There are a couple of other slides that are in that, but that is what you would have or what you would use in order for you to be able to participate in the business plan competition that I told you guys about earlier. And it's also what you're going to use in order for you to do your in-class or your video presentation for me. I've also given you guys a sample Business Launchpad PowerPoint of a company that's already been completed by another student prior to this semester. I've given you details on how you write your business model summary for those of you guys that are a little bit behind and have not yet submitted your feasibility study. I gave feedback to all of the students who had submitted it on time, and so I gave you direction on some things that you could do to enhance it or improve it, or gave you just the kudos for doing a good job. So you should have what you need in terms of direction in that. But if you haven't yet started on it, there are very clear instructions on how to write your longer narrative summary for your business model here. It even has an example of one that was written for another company that you can use as a model for you to build yours from. I've given you guys this product and price list. It's not something that's required for you to turn in, but it helps you really think through what the prices are going to be for your variant products, because you do have to figure that out in order for you to be able to complete your cost of goods sold worksheet, and then also for you to be able to generate your sales revenue or your estimated sales revenue. I've got some other tools that are just useful for you guys there. So you've got to finish like what your management leadership is going to be in your business model PowerPoint. I'm sorry, in your business launchpad PowerPoint. You've also got to choose an organizational structure. And so just looking at this organizational chart that I've given you here is something that is useful. Just to give you guys an example of how useful the work that I give you guys in this class can be, is I actually had a former VSU student who did her feasibility study. They used to have a different outline than what you guys had, but she actually did it for a real business that she and her husband were planning on starting. And so it's actually a very detailed and pretty well written one. And so it just gives you an idea of the value that this course's work can actually have for you guys in real life. Now you get the details on what you need to do in order to complete your feasibility study from your syllabus. So your syllabus is where you're going to have that detail. You won't find that kind of detail on your weekly schedule of assignments. In the excuse me, in the excuse me, in the course project section of your feasibility study, then I'm sorry, in the course project section of your syllabus, then what you're able to do is to scroll down here and it tells you everything that you need to do for your feasibility study. So if you're just working on it, just thinking about what you need to do, this is what you're going to want to read first. And it's telling you really what the process is to really figure out what kind of business you want to start, so that you can make sure that you're choosing an ideal company for you to develop this feasibility study for, because it will be a decent amount of work and you don't want to waste it on a throwaway idea. And then what you have is essentially a list of all of the different things that you need to complete for your feasibility project. So it tells you up here that you've got to complete the Launchpad workbook, you've got to complete the business model, narrative summary, and then obviously you're going to complete this PowerPoint. You've got this feasibility plan update assignment. All of the components for the feasibility plan update assignment are described for you there. And then it tells you here what you need to do for your final feasibility study workbook. And we'll go and open that workbook, which again, you can find under feasibility plan resources here, because I think that the workbook itself is pretty straightforward. When you open the workbook, literally each one of the steps that you're required to complete, or the sections that you're required to complete, has a set of instructions before you've got to work on it. It tells you exactly what you need to do, and it helps you understand why you're doing it also for your business. And one thing I don't think that I've shared a lot with you guys is that if you want to navigate in your feasibility study a little bit more easily, then you can go over here to view, and then you can click on this option for navigation pane. And then what will happen is that you get this quasi table of contents. It's not exactly the table of contents, but it's hyperlinked and it'll take you to the sections that you need to do. So if you're working on section 3 and you haven't actually finished it yet, then you can just click on it there instead of scrolling through the publication, which could take you some time to get to where you need to go. Then you read the instructions for that section, and then you have what you need to complete there that follows. So that's what you can do for just a little bit easier way to navigate what you need to navigate. For those of you guys who've not yet begun to work on some of the spreadsheets that are embedded in the workbook assignment that I've given to you guys, then all you need to do is to double click on the spreadsheet, or the image. Really, it looks as if it's just an image of the spreadsheet, but it's more than an image. It actually is a macro that directly links to Microsoft Excel. So when you click on it, then it will open the document and allow you to be able to type it. So If it's too small and you want to enlarge it, then you can do that. And so you can type directly in it. There's no need for you to take this out of this document unless you just want to, because as soon as you type in there, it's already saved. So you don't have to take this and copy and paste it somewhere else in order for you to use the data that's in this spreadsheet. Now, what you will need to do, for those of you guys who are more advanced in your completion of the project or who have moved ahead, is when you have your spreadsheets, which really start at steps 10, 11, 12, then, in fact, actually, beginning with step 11 are the spreadsheets that you're going to copy to go in your PowerPoint. I just want to show you, reduce this size again. So once you complete these spreadsheets, let's just pretend we've got some numbers in here that we
Ms. Rivers.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering, like, how do you show on the basically on the project that like you're gonna need a loan for you to start your business?
Well, one of the things that you're able to do is on your projected sales revenue worksheet, and remember, you've got to do an operating expenses worksheet too, and then ultimately that's going to help you with you creating a profit and loss statement. So typically your upfront expenses are going to be heavy, and then you will have embedded that into your operating expenses, or somewhere you'll see it, and ultimately you'll see it on your profit and loss statement. And so typically when companies demonstrate that their first year is not going to be profitable or their second year is not going to be profitable, then you say that this business is not a go. But you might think that maybe your third and fourth years are going to be very profitable, and that perhaps you need to get a loan up front. And so that could be some way that you narratively justify your decision to go if your profit and loss statement actually shows that you're at a loss for the first and second year. So the way that you're going to show that you need a loan is going to be with you creating this startup expenses budget. If you're talking about showing it to someone else, you're still going to need to do things like the startup expenses budget, and then you're going to need to do those spreadsheets. And then what you'll be able to do is to show a picture that says, okay, here on the front end, I am going to need these things. Because if I don't get the money for me to get this building ahead of time, then I'm not going to be able to be profitable for my first 2 years. Because even if I were to use, let's just say you had someone die and leave you $1 million to buy your hotel property outright, I wouldn't even suggest that that would be ideal, because then you could end up with some sunk costs if in fact your business doesn't survive over the next 3 to 4 or 5 or 6 years or so. So I would always suggest for something like a hotel or an entity where you will need to purchase a building or some very expensive machinery, that you get a loan to do it, so that you wouldn't have any potential lost money in terms of maybe depreciation in the value of the property. So the short answer is to finish your startup cost spreadsheet and finish your other spreadsheets, which are going to summarize your expenses and your revenues. And then you'll be able to justify the need for a loan based on that. And really what you're going to need to show is that with the infusion of the upfront infusion or whatever point in your period of operation that you choose to infuse the loan revenues or the loan the loan disbursement, that after you receive the loan disbursement, you can demonstrate that you will have profitability in the future as a result of it. Does that make sense? So I got a loan in my first year. And that allowed me to just embed my interest expenses in lieu of the total cost for purchasing a property in my first, 5-10 years. And then that ensures that I'm profitable for each of those 5 to 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you.
so you're welcome. All right, so basically what I wanted to show you guys is that once you complete any one of these spreadsheets, then you can actually copy the entire spreadsheet and paste it into your PowerPoint. Let me go ahead and get to a place where I can do that. So you can highlight the whole spreadsheet, do Control C, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and open under feasibility plan resources the final PowerPoint, excuse me guys, that you guys are going to need to submit as part of this assignment. And what you'll see when we open this document, what you've already seen, since I know that many of you guys are already, again, advanced in terms of your completion of the assignments for this course, is that you can see that I've already got placeholders for your spreadsheets at the end of your PowerPoint. So you can see here, after your organizational chart, that I've got a placeholder for your operating expenses and a placeholder for your cost of goods sold, and obviously a placeholder for your profit and loss statement. And so what you can do is you can delete, this is the wrong spreadsheet that I highlighted. So in fact, let me just go and highlight the correct one. Because what you don't have to do is to copy and paste your projected sales revenue worksheet. Let me just get one of the ones I have you pasting. Again, it's the same thing that you do here, whatever information that you enter here. Say I want to copy this, and let's just say I'm Trace Perry Anthony, just making up something. All right, so we just highlight the whole spreadsheet and hit Control C. And then we can go over here, delete this here, which is just a picture, and then Control V. And then it'll paste your actual spreadsheet there for you. And when you paste it, you can move it around and place it where you like. What's happening is because I've got all these other things showing, it was difficult for me to get to the square that allows you to paste it. But anyway, you're able to paste all of your information here. When you initially paste it also, you usually are given some options on how you'd like it to display over here. If you want it to paste as a picture image, you can do that. If you want it to paste as kind of like a chart that allows you to still go in and make some edits, then you can. I think pasting it as a picture image is going to be fine for most of you guys. And that's what typically happens by default in PowerPoint. See, it's thinking a long time now. It was fine for you to just do Control V, and if it looks fine to you, then you're okay. Just move it to where you'd like it to be on the page and move on. I actually think my computer's doing this because I've got so many high resource using programs open that are taking up a lot of RAM. But anyway, you're able to tell it how you'd like it to format what it's pasting. But that's what you're going to do for these PowerPoints. You're not going to try to type the data in some sort of table that you create. PowerPoint's not responding. You're going to actually literally copy and paste your spreadsheet from the document that I gave you, and it shouldn't have any problem doing it because you saw that I was able to do it at first. So you're just going to copy and paste it here, and then you're going to move it where you need it to be, and then you're done. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for me? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you guys to leave, and then I will come into the class on Tuesday just to briefly be here for anyone that has questions. Okay? Please use the time wisely. All right?
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, have a nice day, guys. Be safe.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye now.